And so please join with me in welcoming Amiel Elfert.
Well, it is so very wonderful to be here with you all today in Duncan United Church. This is a recital I've been looking forward to for a long time, and I've really enjoyed over the last sort of 48 hours getting to know this wonderful little gem of an instrument, which is massively, massively different from my wolf organ back home, as it were, but nevertheless filled with lovely color and a lot, for 8 stops, a lot of variety in sound and a lot of flexibility. And so when I was planning this program, I chiefly considered what I conceived what this organ was capable of. And one of the things that organists are most well known for, obviously, is playing in church. And one of the things we're required to do as organists, besides playing service music and hymns, is to sort of set a mood, what German philosophers in the 18th century would call an affect, of a service and an event. And so out of this philosophy of the affect, and out of the introduction of chorales into the Lutheran liturgy, came the invention of a genre of music which is known as the chorale prelude. And the idea of this genre is that you take an existing melody and add a bit of sparkle, and then ideally the congregation will pick up on what it sounds like, and then we'll be able to sing the hymn a little bit better. So today I've compiled a program of what I'm calling chorales and chorale preludes. They're not all chorale preludes, and they're not all existing tunes, but they all sort of generally follow the genre of a chorale prelude. And so we just heard a piece from Johann Sebastian Bach's collection called the Orgelbuchlein, the Little Organ Book. And I'll talk a little bit more about the Orgelbuchlein a little later. But now we're going to switch gears entirely, and we're going to listen to three pieces, two of which are by one composer and another by another, um, uh, which are chorale preludes and a chorale in my loose definition of the term. The two chorale preludes are by a Canadian composer by the name of Healy Willan, who died in the 1960s. And he was born in England, but moved to Canada at a young age and was very much influenced by the German Romantic tradition. And so you'll hear that these two chorale preludes are very lush and very full of accompaniment for their tunes, but they're very tuneful in themselves. And then the middle piece is by an American composer by the name of Florence Price, who died in 1953. We're not really sure when she was born. And her music was mostly forgotten after her death, but has seen something of a renaissance in the last few years. And Florence Price was a really remarkable woman, and most of all, she really she was a real trailblazer for music in America, in that she was the first Black and female composer to have a symphony premiered by a major American orchestra. Her Symphony Number 1 was premiered by the Chicago Philharmonic in, I don't remember which year, so that's on me. But this piece, entitled Retrospection, or its original title was Elf on a Moonbeam, but I think that she changed the title so it would sell more copies. This piece is a crowd favorite in Victoria, and is a really lovely uh, little sonic exploration in a nice ABA form. But first, Healy Willan, and then Florence Price, and then more Healy Willan. If I was a better comedian, I would have had some jokes prepared for moments like this. Uh, after that foray into romanticism, we're going to return now to the sonic world for the second of three times today of Johann Sebastian Bach, and we're going to return specifically back to the Orgelbuchlein. The first piece was from that collection, and we're going to look at listen to two chorales from the Orgelbuchlein, two of my favorite pieces. And these are two pieces of music which are very much in the Orgelbuchlein vein. There's a joke among organists that there are only 5 chorales in the entire Orgelbuchlein, a collection which contains 46 pieces of music. But these are both very these are pieces which really showcase Bach's use of text painting and of setting that affect of the chorale. So the first chorale is Ach wie nichtig, ach wie flüchtig, which is translates roughly to Oh how nothing, oh how fleeting. And it's a chorale really about death and about the fleetingness of earthly life. And so Bach uses very sparse accompaniment and a very light sound, and notably an empty in air quotes final chord with no pedal in it. As it's the last piece in the collection, and it just lifts away. And the second piece from this collection is Christlagen Todesbanden, which is right smack dab in the middle. It's the first Easter chorale, as the collection follows roughly the church year. And this is a very muscular, very loud chorale, which also uses quite a bit of text painting in the fact that almost every note has some sort of meaning to it. And people have debated for several hundred years at this point what all the notes mean, but we can be fairly sure that they all have meaning. So while I play this piece, look out for some chains of death, look for rolling stones, and look for the cross motif, if you know what that is, which involves some consecutive semitones in a pattern which, if you draw lines between them, makes a cross, and is very he uses it a lot in his Passiontide pieces of music, which of course this is an Easter chorale, so that makes sense. And then we're going to move on to something completely different, which is this lovely short piece by a French composer by the name of Jean Alain. And I can't remember if no, you don't get his dates. If you got his dates, you would find out that he only lived to the age of 39. And often composers who die that young have some sort of illness, or they come upon hard times. And Jean Alain had a slightly different way out of this world. He was born in 1911 and was conscripted into the French army at the outbreak of the Second World War, where he rode a motorcycle and delivered messages until he rode around a hill one day and discovered a whole bunch of Germans waiting for him. And that was the end of Jean Alain's very short but very prodigious life. He had a massive output of pieces, all of which are now published by several publishers. And he's also very well known for being a member of the Alain musical family. Jean's sister is the she's since passed away, was the very famous French organist Marie-Claire Alain, who indeed has come to Vancouver Island to play. And his father was Albert Alain, who was a composer and an organ builder. He built an organ in the family home. And so Jean's compositions were written for that instrument in his living room. And so this is a short chorale in the style of a César Franck chorale. Not so much one you would sing, but a song for the organ. And it's from a collection of two chorales that he wrote, both of which use different modes as their basis for their melodic material. This one is in the Dorian mode, and the other is in the Phrygian mode. So please enjoy two pieces by Bach and one piece by Jean Alain. So, moving on to, again, something completely different. The next piece on the program is based on the oldest. Oh, I've been instructed to move around this way. On the oldest tune of the program is what this next piece is based on, and you can see on the screen it has a ridiculously long title. And incidentally, the title is a complete misnomer. The first half of the title is correct. Meine Seele erhebt den Herrn. My soul doth magnify the Lord is the name of the chorale. But the second half is a misnomer. Fuga sopra il Magnificat. Because this piece of music is not actually a fugue, as much as J.S. Bach would like to call it a fugue. And indeed, most likely it is not even by J.S. Bach. There's a lot of evidence to show that it was actually written by his student Johann Ludwig Krebs. But this piece is based on an ancient piece of plain song called the Tonus Peregrinus. And after the Lutheran Reformation, this tone was used to set Martin Luther's translation of the Magnificat, Meine Seele erhebt den Herrn. And so J.S. Bach, or more likely Krebs, takes this tune and he adds another tune, and the whole thing swirls around in the hands for about 4 minutes before the tune finally comes in again one last time in the pedal, cantus firmus. And so thus concludes the piece. And the second piece in this little segment is by an English composer by the name of Charles Wood, who's better known for his large-scale anthems. And this is a setting of a tune from a Scottish metrical psalter called Sternhold and Hopkins. And so the reason I've put these two pieces together is because every day in England, English cathedrals hold evensong, the Anglican service of evening prayer, which is sung. And as the centerpiece of evensong, evening prayer, are these two texts: My soul doth magnify the Lord, the Song of Mary, and Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace, the Song of Simeon. So I thought it was prudent to have these two together as sort of musical foils as well as textual foils. So Bach, Mag Fugue, and Charles Wood, Nunc Dimittis. So the final pieces on this program are selections from a collection by a German composer by the name of Siegfried Karg Ellert, who is an eccentric lad and kind of fell into obscurity after his death. And so he, when at the age of 32, he was encouraged to write something for the pipe organ. He had never written anything for the organ at this point in his life, and he had mainly specialized in writing for, of all things, the harmonium, the reed organ, and the flute. And so it is for his organ compositions and his flute compositions that he is best remembered today, if he is remembered at all. But so his most famous work is actually the Marche Triomphale from this collection, number 59, Nun danket alle Gott. And I would be very surprised if no one in this room has heard this piece of music before. It is fairly famous and fairly well played by many people. And but before that, I'm going to play two more intimate selections from this collection. Schmücke dich is I don't remember the number, but it is a chorale for the Eucharist, and the whole scheme of this piece is a one large crescendo and diminuendo, and it peaks sort of towards the end before it dies away again. And then O du Liebe, meine Liebe, O the love of my love, it's an aria, and it will showcase this organ's lovely 4-foot flute. And then Nun danket is the large march, which is number 59 in the collection. So you'll notice in these pieces that this is the closest to modern music that you'll get today, save my noodling at the end. Karg Ellert's main claim to fame was that he had an intense and very deep knowledge of music theory. And so this allowed him to write pieces which were very harmonically complex and quite daring, but were still manifestly tonal pieces of music. So you hear that there are some sort of strange turns and eyebrow-raising moments in all of these pieces, but for the most part, they're trackable. They conform to the normal rules of harmony. And so I hope you enjoy these three. Oh wait, there is something else I have to do. As this is the last bit of talking I will do, we have to get around to the dreaded thank yous. And so I would like really to extend my most deep thanks to Connie Masson for setting this all up. And to the leadership of Duncan United for letting me have a go. And to all of the volunteers who are here today, I saw you manning the door and the recording station over there. Thank you indeed. And thank you all so much for coming out and giving up part of your Sunday afternoon to listen to me play the organ. I do appreciate it so much, and you all have been a lovely audience. And now music by Karg Ellert and then by me.